And here's my favorite story of the week. This really pisses me off. Seismic studies show that there's probably $1.5 billion worth of oil underneath Windsor Castle in England. Nice to know something over there is getting drilled. Man, can you believe $1.5 billion worth of oil, and every penny of it's going to go to the royal family? I mean, how unfair is that? More to the point, how typical is that? No wonder everybody's so angry nowadays. And this is just ancillary nerf anger that we spin off from the hardcore primal stuff that we all carry around like a venomous Playboy air freshener. You know, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but I really want to get off on a rant here. America is angrier than Burt Reynolds presenting an Emmy to Lonnie Anderson. You know, we are angry that our streets have never been more dangerous. We're angry at our so-called leaders for being more concerned with partisan mudslinging than solving our country's problems. We're angry that I wasn't even mentioned in many of the reviews for Disclosure, the new Michael Crichton thriller that opens today at a theater near you. Face it, thank you. Ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Let's face it, we are a PMS nation, and we always have been. Under the fancy patriotic paint job, America is a country built on anger. What? You're not going to let us worship whom we want, when we want, where we want? Well, fuck you, Limey. We're starting our own country. See you at the bicentennial ass face as a... How do you get that lost in the word bicentennial? I was in the middle of it, and I said, Jesus Christ, I'm in a whirlpool. You know, as a nation, we've been seething with anger from day one. But now this country is in the grip of a temper tantrum of cataclysmic proportions. At this rate, we're only days away from having to install metal detectors in church. Every little misstep in daily life, every minor tangle, every botched do-si-do, every burr on the dream of smooth sailing is a potential interpersonal Gulf of Tonkin incident. No sides, no cause, just sheer anger and rage. You know, people are about to snap the minute they shoulder roll out of bed in the morning. They're still angry about a dream where they didn't get laid. You know, the snap factor is so high, you're liable to get beaten to death with a canned ham in the supermarket just because your cart rear-ended some frustrated psycho ninja wannabe's cart and you broke the head off one of his animal crackers. And in America these days, that'll get you a Jimmy Arness Kung Fu star lodged right in the center of your forehead. And a jury won't even convict Grasshopper if the defense can produce the decapitated animal cracker. You know, hey, it worked for the Menendez boys. It's probably going to spring the juice into the open field. It's every bully's excuse these days. Why not make it yours? Do I know how fast I was going, officer? Yeah, I do. I was doing 115 fucking miles an hour because I have a huge red pepper of rage lodged in my sphincter muscle, all right? Let's cut to the chase. We're angry because we feel overlooked, inconsequential, and undervalued. And when we feel we don't matter, it's easy to hurdle past the fail-safe point. And we are gone. We can no longer be called back by Strategic Air Command. They're impersonating our wife's voice, and we're headed for Baghdad with the radio off and phasers on go fuck yourself. And I, for one, am not apologizing for it. Why shouldn't I be angry, living in a culture where MTV gives an asswipe VJ like Kennedy her own TV show? Obviously, you thought I meant Ted Kennedy. Everybody feels anger. I don't ever want to not feel anger. But the collective mistake we're making is this. Anger used to be a baseline that we used to merely lie underneath, a funky bottom to our cultural zeitgeist. But by not periodically adjusting our levels and assigning it its proper place in the mix, anger is now broken out into a shrieking Nugent guitar solo that's drawing a rivulet of blood from all of our ears. Our rising anger is the emotional head on a vast pimple of ignorance and fear. America is a melting pot of 250 million people who come from wildly different cultures, religions, and races, and all of them are feeling the pressure to succeed, to secure a place for themselves and their families. Being in America today is like being outside the gates of a Who concert. And you know something? The mood has turned from hopeful to fearful. The crowd has become a Day of the Locust mob. The jostling isn't friendly anymore. It's every man for himself. They just made the announcement that there aren't enough seats. It's first come, first serve, and we're bracing for the big push. We are angry in America because the fabric is tearing, the support rope is frayed, the big gate is closing, time is running out, and only the fierce little pig is going to suckle at the tit of plenty. Of course, that's just my opinion. If you don't agree with me, let's step outside and kick each other's ass. All right.